I thought I'd make this a different change of pace and do videos in this style again. But I'm currently alone in the house. It's really nice having some peace and quiet. And I'm in pajamas because I don't plan to go anywhere today. I actually can't. I don't have a car. I borrowed my mother's car, who's out of town right now. Why are you crooked? I don't have any form of transportation aside from my bike to get around places. So even if I could go somewhere, I really can't because I really don't want to go riding my bike in this heat. It's nice and cool in here. This is where the other computers are. Over there is my mother's computer. Right here is my father's computer, and he has what's known as a super wide monitor. I mean, yeah, he likes it, but good lord, I don't want a monitor that big. It's literally the entire length of this little alcove for his monitor. It's a bit too much if you ask me, but he loves it. And if he loves it, that's all that matters, because he's the one who bought it for him. But anyway, I want to show you something I got recently. It costs a lot of money, around $1,000, and I can tell you this before I show you, I never spent $1,000 so confidently before. I bought an ultra wide, which is much smaller than what you just saw. And this is an OLED display. It's an Alienware, so it uses their quantum dot technology. And it's been amazing. If it will focus, that'd be great. There you go. That's an animated wallpaper I got from Wallpaper Engine. I'll put the artists on screen as I can't remember. But it's a cool wallpaper. As you can tell from the date here, it is Wednesday the 10th of May. It is a great monitor. And it's an ultra wide, so my new aspect ratio is 21:9. My dad's monitor you saw is a 32:9. It's huge, I know. I wanted a bigger monitor, but I don't want to go that extreme. I also got a TV recently. You may have saw this in my PS3 controller video. That's not an OLED TV, that's just a standard LCD panel. LCD display. But it's nice. But if you're not familiar with OLED, basically I get pure blacks now. There's no backlight, and I don't have to worry about backlight bleed. And it's all I can say is that it's just really nice. It's extremely nice, and I'm very happy I bought it. The best $1,000 I've spent, quite literally. I had no buyer's remorse at all, which is a really nice feeling. Nothing much has been happening a lot behind the scenes since my last recording. I wish this camera had a display that could flip up, because I have no idea what I look like right now. So I'm probably either overexposed or very sexy. One of the two. I know I probably look a mess. I need a haircut. But I kind of like my long curly hair. I was running out of storage space, so I had to buy another SSD, which is right here on this old, very old chair. Looks a lot older on camera for some reason. It's not falling apart. It's actually quite sturdy. It's just an old chair we had in the attic, and I needed a chair for the TV, so it all works out. Anyway, bought an SSD. Oops, upside down. It's a 4 terabyte SSD, because 1 terabyte, for me, is not enough. I don't know if you can see me. I have multiple hard drives, and I use all of them simultaneously, because I like to organize things a bit differently. Here's how I organize them. Say I have local disk C drive, dedicated for Windows only, that's why it's the smallest. My media drive is where all my recordings go. It's about halfway full. Software, E, which is my old C drive. It's a mechanical hard drive, like D. Sorry for the focus, it's going crazy. E is for software only. F, videos, is my old videos drive. It's my second biggest at 3 terabytes. That's the one Sir Dim gave me a long time ago, and it's still going strong. I have a ROM drive. And then there's the one I have dedicated for games. As you can see, 1 terabyte is not enough. Not enough at all. That's why I bought a 4 terabyte one, because I think that'll be more than enough. But anyway, I always have my videos recorded in a different hard drive, so that way I don't worry about the operating system or games taking up recording space, as they're all on their own dedicated hard drives, and nothing is fighting over disk usage. That's how I organize them, and it's quite nice. It works really well. Drives F, E, and D, which I showed you there, are all mechanical still. They're going strong, but if they start to fail, I'm going to get SATA SSDs, of course. And drive C and H are my NVMe drives, the fastest SSDs you can get on the market. They're all Generation 4 as well. I bought the small one because all I was going to install on it was the operating system. That way the operating system has its own disk to work with, and then my games have their own disk to work with. It's to prevent the system resources from fighting over disk usage, because that was a problem I had in my old setup, where I had the operating system, software, and games installed on the same mechanical hard drive, and the hard drive was ultimately becoming the bottleneck. So that's why I set up like this, and I've been doing that for years now. It works really well, but time to upgrade. I also bought this thing. This thing's actually very small. It fits in the palm of my hand. It's an NVMe drive cloner, because I need something to transfer what I already have on my other SSD. My motherboard only has 2 SSD slots, so I can't really, take one of them out and just transfer everything over quite easily. So I bought this. Thing that can clone on its own. Doesn't require a computer. Let's go ahead and start upgrading, shall we? Never really ceases to amaze me, but it always does not get really that dusty in here. I haven't cleaned this in a while. I'm going to clean it now since I'm already opening it up. That's a bit more dusty than I was expecting, but overall it looks pretty clean. Look at the CPU cooler. You can tell, if it'll focus, you can tell there's not really that much dust in there. Right there, that's the OS SSD. That one stays there. Right here is the one I'm going to be taking out. Look at the reflection of the sky in the camera lens, and it's green for some reason. That's weird. Anyway, I forgot to grab something. It's in the attic. Ooh, the spooky attic. Ooh. It's not that creepy up here. We have a window. It's not all entirely darkness. This is where we keep most of our junk. You might recognize that futon from my older videos in the other house. It smells really bad up here. Well, not like really, really bad, but there's a smell to it because there's a bunch of old stuff up here. We're gonna have to go through this sometime. Anyway, this is what I'm after. Not the power supply box. The motherboard box is in here. Is hopefully still in here. Yeah. Is the SSD heatsink that came with the motherboard. If we'll focus. There we go. This is the heatsink that came with the motherboard. I'm going to be using for the one that I just bought, because I personally bought it without a heatsink because I already had one. So now that I got it, let's head back down. Oh hey, some idiot left a computer here. One of the reasons why I love this case so much, yeah, that's a lot of dust, is that it comes with filters for most of the vent holes. So all the dust gets trapped in here instead of the computer, which is why it doesn't get really that dusty. But it's been a while since I cleaned it, admittedly, and if you look at the top there, there's quite a bit of dust, especially on the filters. I'm gonna have to get the vacuum and some canned air. I think the vacuum's in the laundry room. Probably. There it is. Okay. Also, I'm wearing my slippers untied. These laces are impossible to tie because it's pure leather. I've tried tying them multiple times, and it just get out of here. And they just simply won't tie, and they won't stay tied either. It's annoying, so I just leave them like that. I had to cut these ones off because they just broke off. Forgot the canned air. I might have one in my closet. I've always been scared to open this door on camera because it's become somewhat embarrassing, but here we go. It's a huge mess. I know. That's why it's embarrassing. I think I have some compressed air in here. If not, I know where one is. It's kind of dark. Nope. Okay. There's no compressed air in there. But luckily, I didn't know where we keep them. Luckily, I know where my dad keeps them. Back in the office and into the face of God. Good Lord, you guys are overexposed. There we go. See, this one has the closet facing the window. Mine doesn't. There usually is one here. Oh, there you are. The straw's bent. Do not shake. Noted. These pressurized cans always make me nervous. Especially when I'm the one using them. Alright, let's get to cleaning. So are you guys gonna help, or are you just gonna sit here and watch me do all the work? Watch me do all the work? Okay, I'll let you do that. There's some alcohol below you if you want any. I know it's kind of a bad angle, there's no other good place to put it. But luckily, this can be pulled off. So it's out of the way. I'm gonna put it over here. And just place it right here. The family isn't gonna be eating anytime soon. How I normally clean this computer is that I take the vacuum and the compressed air, I turn on the vacuum, I don't put it in here, I just have it in the general direction where I'm spraying, so it picks up all the dust particles in the air so they won't land back in the computer or anywhere else here. And I take the microfiber cloths and go along the non-electrical components such as the power supply cover and the top and the filters. And that pretty much gets most of the dust done. I'm not gonna be stupid by it. I'm gonna make sure I'm grounded first. I'm gonna touch the screw on either the switch or the outlet. So you guys just sit here, drink some Elijah Craig. It's right below you, if you want to. But you're paying for it. I'm only using the vacuum to pick up the dust from where I spray the compressed air. All right? I'm not going to shove the nozzle into here, get all the nooks and crannies. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to spray it and just have the vacuum going so it picks up all the dust in the air. That's how I've always done it, and that's how I'm going to do it here, okay? All right. 3, 2, 1. Phase 1 complete. Alright, I'm going to keep the vacuum here for now, because there's going to be dust all over the place now. But, that's basically what I do. And notice how I didn't actually shove the nozzle into here. I just kept it right here, outside. So everything's fine. So now I'm just going to take this and go along the non-electronic components, such as the top and the power supply cover. This isn't actually going to be touching any circuit board. Shut up, phone. I won't be able to get the top of the graphics card because I don't feel comfortable putting a cloth there. So I'm just going to leave... All the dust is going right back into the computer. I usually do 2 rounds anyway. And that filter's done. Side front filter. Ooh, that's really bad. Top. Also really bad. By the way, it's a dry cloth. There's no cleaner on it. This comes off, which is super nice. The top part underneath this is really bad. Some of the dust does get through, but filters prevents a large amount going through. There. The ballast black cover. This is still not electrical, just a piece of metal. And have to be very careful here and do this. Phase 2 is complete. Looks a lot more clean now. How'd you get dust on you? I'm gonna go do the vacuum and canned air again. Do the rest of that. I don't really feel comfortable going that far back in with a cloth, to be honest. So that part's just gonna be dusty. I don't really have a good way to clean the actual circuit boards themselves confidently without building static on them, so I'm just gonna leave it as it is. By the way, for any owners of RTX cards, did you know there's a little switch here called performance mode and quiet mode. That switch controls the fans underneath the card. So either recommend switching that to performance mode if you want to keep your card cool enough. Anyway, it is now time to take out the SSD. I'll do the phase 3 after I swap out the card. Okay. There we go. Right there at the bottom. I need to go get a very small Phillips head screwdriver. It's the one with the plus on it. Since my closet is a work in progress, toolbox is here. Get out of your trash can. Alright, small. I think this one will work. Look. Fits right in there. Right in there. It would have been bad if I dropped that in there, wouldn't it? I know I keep placing you here, but I don't want to really risk you putting anywhere else if you falling into the computer. Alright, so the biggest question is, can I get this out without removing anything else? That wasn't even very on tight. That wasn't, what? That wasn't tight? We're good. Huh? That's weird, it's not a magnetic screwdriver. Alright, so it should just come right off now. Yeah, look at that. Alright, the next thing we have to do is clone the drive. So I'm going to look at the manual here again. Insert the target disk into the hard disk slot. Target disk capacity must be greater than or equal to source disk capacity. So the target would be this drive then. This one. I have to be right back. I need to look at support for this again.
Several moments later.
I'm really confused now because I looked at the specifications and Western Digital says it's an M key card. So why does it have a B key socket? Unless it is. M key and I'm just doing it wrong. Anyway, let's see what this is. It is working. At least it seems. The reason why I was freaking out a little bit there is because I thought the SSD drive I got was a B key. Only a B key. Because there's different types of sockets. There's M key, B key, M plus B key. There's even an E key, which is E key, which is for Wi-Fi, but I thought I got a B key. So I looked on several different sources about this particular SSD drive I got. Every single one of them says it's an M key. So does that make me? Stupid. A completely stupid idiot who kind of got frustrated over nothing. So no time was wasted, thankfully. It is still working. It's still seems to be on 25%. But it hasn't moved. It is hot, so it is doing stuff. I just hope that everything goes according to plan. Ladies and gentlemen, we are almost done. It is working. It's not showing up in the camera. Oh, it kind of is when it's out of focus. But light's still flashing. Manual says that copying is done when all of those lights are on. I know it's sticking up. That's what it wants to do. I can't get it to stay back down, but this isn't complaining about it, so it is working. It is officially done. None of the lights are flashing, so now I'm going to hit the power button. Oh! That is much harder than I was expecting. Okay, let's do that again, but carefully. Yeah, I'm gonna let that cool for a bit before I actually remove them. I was expecting it to be hot, mind you. One of the reviews on that cloner said that it does get hot. I wasn't expecting it to get that hot. But I'm just gonna let that cool before I remove the SSDs. Alright, I think these cooled down enough, so I'm gonna go ahead and remove them and put the new one into that slot right there in the very center of the screen. That tiny little thing. The heat sink's going there too, so don't worry. It will have a heat sink. It will have a heat sink. Carefully remove this. On. And very gently put this in. But it's a lot easier when it comes with a heat sink because you have more grip strength in it. Got it. It's in. Now for the screw. Commence screwing. It's in. Now, for the actual heatsink. This one might be a bit tougher to put in. How am I going to do this? I can see how to do this. I need to put in this side first, it looks like. Is it going in? Whoa! Went in? I was completely blind. Now, ooh, card might be in the way. Nope, we are good. I got that one in too. That was easier than I thought it was going to be. It's on. I need to get this out of here. This is my GPU bracket that fell when I'm taking out the other one, so I have to readjust this and put it back in. It's a brace to prevent it from sagging, because you know these RTX cards are now bricks. So I don't have a 4000 series. I still have a 3000 series. I have no desire to upgrade to a 4000 series at this time. I'm bending along just fine with my 38. So now it's time to go on to phase 3 of cleaning. I know you guys are probably about to die, but it should last long enough. While I was waiting for the SSDs to cool, I charged up their battery a bit. So, don't need this, but I need the vacuum. So, still plugged in. Need this, and 3, 2, 1. Phase 3 is done. Now we just put everything back together. I lift it up from here. There's still dust flying around. Lift it up from here, like that. Put my hand underneath here. Whoop. Lift it up like that. And then go down here to the, not there. This corner. Lift it up. Move back. And then carefully reorient it. And that's how I send it back up. Right, now I need to put this back. It's not that big of a pain. It's that I just get it perfect, and when I go in here to either clean or install something or remove something, I have to readjust it. That's nice and tight, so it's holding it in place. Now I need to put the filter back on, like so. That's done. Put the tempered glass panel back on, like so. It's nice that it's on a hinge because I can just open it and do whatever. Got it. It's on. Apparently it's leaning forward a bit. Put these screws back on. So this one goes down here. These screws have rubber between them so they don't scrape the glass, which is really nice. There we go. Filters go up. These filters go up here for now because it's easier to lift from the bottom when these are off. I've actually almost broken these carrying them in. So it's just easier if I do it that way. You guys ready for the most terrifying part? I've done this several times before, trust me. Okay. Alright, it's on, but I need to adjust it. Move that back there. Move this right there. And it's on. Simple. Alright, all that's left right now is to just hook everything back together. This is going to be fun. My least favorite part of the whole process. And in the meantime, I'm gonna let your battery charge for a bit. Alright, y'all. Time for the ultimate truth. Keep in mind, I didn't swap the one with the operating system in it. So I'm expecting it to boot regardless. It's pure black for you. Notice how it's not glowing on the sides where the black is? Okay, it's normal. It copied the partition, but it left the other space blank. So I wonder if I can extend it. Yeah, extend volume. Give me a second. Now that is more like it, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah! 4 terabytes of space added. Well, 3 terabytes of space added technically, since I was already almost using an entire terabyte. I'm happy now. I'm happy. That worked beautifully. Now there's something else I want to show you about my recording setup. But in order for me to do that, I have to switch to my phone, so have fun with the extremely low quality all of a sudden. Told you it's gonna be ugly. I have no idea if the autofocus on this thing even works anymore. But I have to use this camera to show you what I want to show you. This is my new face cam setup. Well, the one I've been struggling with for several years. And if I sit down, you can look, see that it's pointing directly at me. And I have a ring light back here that lights me. Oh gosh, it's the face of God. I have a light that lights up right here, so I'm fully illuminated. And suppose you're wondering what this thing is. This holds down the focus button on the camera when it actually is. Why, you may ask? Simple. It's the only way to actually make the camera work the way I want it to. Here, I'll explain in detail of what I used to do, so you understand.
Several hours later, because OBS decided to update and break everything, so I had to reconfigure everything. This is what I used to use. I would use this, it's called QDSLR dashboard, and what it does, it allows me to control my camera from my computer. If I do this, hey, here I am. Except this isn't the quality you would actually see. I would enable a setting here called loop recording. And then I'll just simply press this button right here to get it to start recording. And it'll record the file directly onto the camera. And then I'll just move that camera over onto my computer and edit with it. And that's just the way I did things. But look at this. See this countdown timer up here, the 28? Now I'm going to reach up over here and I'm going to push the autofocus button and look what happens. It stops. It goes away. So, when I have this positioned in a way where it, oh, it's not, there we go. Where I push it like that, and now it's now gone. What I do now is I go in OBS Studio and have my capture card hooked up. Hang on. I have my capture card hooked up, and this is what you guys see now. And menu focus still works and everything. It's a perfect solution. It works. For my testing, this works really well. So this is my new setup now, and I'm really happy with it. I really am. And that's how I'm going to be doing things now. So, I have a lot of things going on behind the scenes that I don't want to talk about at this time. But know that my recording stuff has been a lot more, but know that my recording method is now much, much better. So, that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video. See you then.